Lyre of the Lion by TheNightNinja2. Chapter 30. Island Days. While all the adults had wine, Antonio had water, but both of them were wary of eating goat. They had only ever drunk goat milk and didn't know they could be eaten. But Louisa had decided that since they were on an adventure, she needed to take the leap. It wasn't bad, and she was hungry. Antonio had devoured his portion, and no one was stopping him from getting more as Edmund did. The wine, however, was something Louisa was far more cautious of. She had seen what an excess of it had turned her older sister into, as well as Tia Peppa. But Mirabelle seemed to be guzzling the stuff, which made Louisa even warier. She had heard her sister's stories of being so drunk she can't remember what she did. But Edmund seemed to be encouraging Mira to drink her fill, as they needed a reason to laugh. Louisa sipped at her goblet of wine, taking great care not to drink too fast. She did not want to be an even bigger walking disaster than her little sister. The dragon that had landed on the beach made all of them concerned, until Antonio decided it would be a good idea to use his gift. "It's Eustace!" said Antonio.
"What? How?"
asked Edmund. "He said he stumbled on a dragon's hoard. Probably that dead one you found in the valley, and slept on it," said Antonio. "Idiot! Dragon treasure is enchanted," muttered a rosy-cheeked Mirabelle.
"Can you get this bracelet off me? It hurts,"
said Eustace. "Tia, can you get the bracelet off him? It's hurting him," said Antonio.
"I can try,"
said Louisa. Eustace roared as the bracelet came off with a mighty tug from Louisa. "He says thank you," said Antonio. Lucy used a drop of her cordial to relieve the swelling on Eustace's leg. Caspian looked at the bracelet and recognized it as one of the Lord's. For once, Eustace was glad for Antonio's presence. The child was the only one who could fully communicate with Eustace's story to the others. The next morning, Mira awoke with a mild headache. She hadn't drunk as much as normal, but still enough that her head hurt. She shook the sand out of her hair and smiled as she saw Reepicheep and Antonio curled up against Eustace. It seemed like becoming a dragon had done the brat some good. She reached for her glasses, but when she put them on, the world was blurrier than ever. She tossed them into the ocean. She would never need them again. It was early, and the only two people who were up, besides her, were Caspian and Drinian.
"Good morning, Your Highness,"
said Drinian. "Please, Captain, we have worked together many weeks now. Call me Mirabelle." Drinian bowed. "How soon will it take to reprovision the ship from the wild game on the island?" asked Mirabelle.
"Perhaps a week with good hunting," said
Drinian. "My king, if I may request a favour?" asked Mirabelle.
"Of course, Mirabelle. What do you need?"
asked Caspian. "If there is game upon this island that corresponds with what my sister is used to eating in the Encanto, may I prepare a few meals that may drive away any homesickness she might be feeling?" asked Mirabelle.
"Absolutely. I'm eager to try such meals if given the instructions to cook."
"I will spend a day locating and drying the proper herbs. Thank you, Caspian," said Mirabelle with a bow. She walked away, and Caspian turned to Drinian.
"It has been many an age since the princess has allowed even one of the lords to call her by her first name. The last to do so, that weren't members of her family, were her handmaidens. Something I know she is eager to allow once again, once she returns with us to Narnia," said Caspian. "Forgive me, sire, but isn't she from another world, as are King Edmund and Queen Lucy? You speak as though you intend for her to live at Cair Paravel," asked Drinian. "She is set on never returning to the world she comes from, Aslan willing. I intend to see her back to her former place of power," said Caspian. "The rest of Narnia will rejoice at the return of their princess," said Drinian. "That they will. And the one she chooses to court, I feel, will be the luckiest man in the world," said Caspian. "Most of the crew seems more eager to win the hand of the Duchess," said Drinian. "She is a remarkable woman, just as remarkable as her sister," said Caspian. Eustace seemed eager to prove his worth to the others as a dragon. He was especially helpful to the hunting party, bringing back plenty of wild goats and swine, and on chilly, rainy nights when the others would curl up against him. He was eternally grateful to Reepicheep and Antonio for helping him drive away the loneliness his situation had made worse. Being able to talk to someone,
even a child, was a great help. Mirabel found a great deal of herbs on the island that tasted similar to the spices used in Encanto, and had helped the cook prepare meals close to the ones in Encanto, even managing to find cattails at the right stage of growth that the flower stalks could be eaten. She had also brought enough herbs to be dried to restock the ship infirmary and the kitchen. Louisa spent her days helping the men repair the Dawn Treader. She was thankful she didn't have her father's clumsiness. After they had been on the island for a good deal longer than they had intended, Edmund awoke one night to find Eustace returned to normal. He told Edmund of how a lion had torn the scales off of him that night, and though it had hurt, it was a satisfying pain. When they had returned to camp, there was much rejoicing, and Eustace had pulled Mirabel aside and apologized for all the awful things he had said to her before. Mirabel had been spending a great deal of time with Drinian, adding the island to the map. They were calling it Dragon Island. But there were rumours among the crew, and believed by Caspian and Edmund, of something more between the two. "Oh, I do hope so. It would be so wonderful if they became a couple," said Lucy.
"Perhaps a friendly wager?" asked Caspian. "A tree on 2 weeks."
Edmund said.
"A lion on 1 week."
Caspian said, "Edmund, you once made a similar wager with Peter about if Mirabel would court one of the lords of our time." "Oh, brother, I can't remember their names any more. You lost," said Lucy.
Louisa then came over. "What are we betting on?" she asked.
"When Mirabel and Drinian will start courting," said Lucy.
"Oh, I say it will be a good 3 weeks before she asks him. But if he asks her first, she is hardly likely to say no. And I'm sure that could happen any day now," said Louisa. "Care to get in on this wager?" asked Edmund. "I know better than to gamble, and if Mirabel were to find out, I don't know if she would be angry or find it funny. I can't tell with her anymore, and I'd rather play it safe since she discovered how to hold fire in her hand," said Louisa. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Rather short one, but I like it. Eustace being the dragon. I mean, it ended quickly, but that was nice. Him wanting to prove himself and realising how bad the loneliness can get. Must be quite the wake-up call, waking up with extra limbs and being able to fly, breathe fire, and being huge. And not being able to talk. That must have been horrible. Well, I made this channel on my love of talking and my love of stories, so I can't imagine ever not being able to talk. Touch wood. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.